It's pretty hot today, but I got the dogs out. It's about 11 in the morning, so it's kind of the cooler part of the day, but it's already over 85 and the sun is kind of getting unbearable. And this is a nice forest. And so I took this little old dirt road because I knew there's a train track right over here, and there's trains going on it. I can hear them every half hour or so. So we got to be a little careful, but I wanted to hike out here and just see what's out here, because I knew it'd be kind of open. So it's just kind of cool out here. It's kind of giving me those Stand By Me vibes. Might as well just take this road up here. Road just ends right here. It's not much of a road, really, but it's right up above these tracks here. And it's shady here. So this is our nomad life. Being at rest areas for the last few days, coming back out to places that we like the mountains especially, but any place that has big trees like this is the kind of place that I like, and the dogs like it. I mean, it's so green out here, so they can just eat grass. It's almost like we got no cares out here. Sometimes bugs come out, and the main thing is just deer, because this guy will take off after him and then he won't come back to camp for 45 minutes or an hour. And so I'm still trying to train that out of him. He's getting a lot better. But those are really our main concerns out here. Of course, the heat from the sun, but having trees like this out here, you know, you got to be grateful for what you have, and having shade when there's sun out here, that's a lot. And luckily we have a generator, and I got full gas. I got a 5-gallon gas can that I carry in the truck. And the generator burns about 1 gallon in about 4.5 hours running the air conditioner. So like when I get back to camp, I'm going to turn that thing on, and it'll probably be running till at least till the sun goes down behind the trees. But me and the dogs, we've been living on the road, living the nomad life, staying mostly out in the national forest and BLM lands, especially out in the desert, for the last almost 2 years now. We've stayed at a handful of state parks, and the state parks are really convenient. They get kind of expensive because you can get them for about $20 a night sometimes at certain seasons. That's usually without electricity or water at your site. But yeah, they're about $35, sometimes more, maybe 45 a night. So we pretty much avoid those. This whole trip, season 2 of Got Out, we've avoided state parks, and I like state parks because they're super safe and they're convenient, and you have everything you need, electricity to run the heater usually, if it's that time of year, or the air conditioning, if it's that other time of year. We've pretty much avoided the state parks just basically to save money. And you know, there's no checkout time when we come out to places like this. When we're out in the woods, there's no checkout time. We can stay here as long as we want. You know, most places that we stay, it's a 14-day stay limit. And I've seen more, sometimes it's 16 days, sometimes it's 7. But I mean, that's plenty long enough for us. So I would recommend this lifestyle, even if it's just a temporary thing that you want to do for a couple weeks or a few months. You can get out for a pretty good price. It's not too expensive. You just got to pay gas. And then there's certain fuels that you need, like propane. You're generally going to need some level of propane and water. And then you're going to have to do dumps. But those are your main costs. And of course, you know, any repairs and things like that that come up. But that's kind of standard, really. And we come out to these places and they feel like they're our places. Like, this is our yard. This is our train tracks. We can hike wherever we want, any time of day or night. We check out the stars. The stars are crazy here. At night, you see the Milky Way. It's really worth it for us. I want to see what's up here. So I'll let Echo off so I can climb this little ridge here. Kind of looks like there's little steps here, but there's a lot of deer and other animals out here. There's elk, and I'm sure there's bears out here. It's just a big field. And with the technology of today, like, we pretty much use cell service to stream. You know, we can stream movies, stream YouTube, and do uploads, and I can get my laptop out and use the phone as a hotspot. So we're still connected to the outside world. It's once you get in the trailer, or if you have a tent or a van, once you get inside there, it's just like being in your apartment or your house, but it's a lot smaller. But you come outside and you have the biggest yard you could possibly ever get, and the most privacy you could ever get. You know, I've read some of your comments, and some of the comments that stick out to me are the ones where people say they have a house and they're paying a mortgage on it, which is amazing. Like, that's something that, you know, I don't have. To have your own house, your own permanent home is pretty cool. But the comments that stick out to me are the people that say, you know, they like their house or they like their neighborhood, but they have a neighbor. They have a problem neighbor for whatever reason. You know, they don't get along, or they're noisy. Who knows? It could be anything. And so if you have that permanent neighbor or neighbors, or maybe it's a neighborhood, or things are changing in your neighborhood, you're stuck there. And there's a lot of benefits to that. But, you know, out here, if I don't like a place, I can leave whenever I want. And if you have a van or a truck camper, then you become super mobile. You can just take off whenever you want. And go to a new place and find a new place, and then pinpoint the spots that you like on your map using Google Maps. We got this great technology today, and you can come right back to those same spots. So you can use that technology to find these spots that you like at certain times of the year. If there's a bad neighbor, you got a bad camper nearby, or someone's maybe, because you can pretty much do anything you want out here. You know, there's laws and regulations, and there's rangers that come out. You know, you see the rangers every once in a while. The Forest Service comes out to check on things. You know, there's rules about fires and where you can and can't shoot guns, and most places you can have your pets off leash, but sometimes that's against the rules. But you could have a neighbor that's like being noisy. Maybe they're playing music, because you can play music whenever you want. Maybe they have a loud generator. Some people have these open frame generators and they're super noisy. We have an inverter generator, and they're relatively pretty quiet. Still, I don't run it generally if there's people real close by, or if it's like quiet hours, you know, nighttime kind of thing. Echo, come. He's just wandering around, smelling the grass and finding new grass patches. But he listened to me. He's coming back. Come on. Come on, Echo. He's got spider webs on him. Like nasty stuff. The dogs smell good out here too. They just smell like pine needles now. So that's kind of a plus. But out here, you know, if you get a bad camper, noisy neighbors, people with ATVs, that kind of thing, you can move spots. You may not even have to move that far, just a half mile up the road to a different campsite. Maybe you move completely to a different area, but you're mobile, so you can just take off whenever you want. It's kind of like the countryside is yours. The mountains are yours. The desert's yours. And you can make it your own, make it work for you however you want. You can camp by a stream, by a river, by a lake, out in the middle of the desert, where there's cool hiking, or there's cool ATVing if that's what you want to do. You want to shoot guns, you want to let your dogs run around, you want to ride horses. You can do all of that. You know, if you have a house or an apartment, you're really limited. Just think about the limitations that you have. And that's something that I think about a lot out here. And, you know, not everybody's like me or the dogs, where there's never been a day so far, and I guess it's only been about 2 years now, but there hasn't been a day yet where I wished that I was in an apartment or a house, even an RV park or something like that. Like, I don't really want to be in those places for very long. And it's not that some people move around really fast, and they go, especially these vanners, they're in a spot for a day and they're out by a couple hours after sunup. They hit the road. And, you know, we don't move around that much generally. We like to stay in places for several days or a week or two and then leave. So there's different ways to be a nomad. Like, you can be constantly on the move, constantly on the road, or you can be kind of like us and kind of do it a little easier, a little slower paced in a sense. But I mean, still, we're traveling way more than anybody that lives in the city or lives in townhomes in the suburbs or anything like that. We're traveling, you know, every few days or every week or every couple weeks. We're heading to a new place and we're seeing new things. In a lot of ways, you know, it's just it's like a permanent vacation. With the technology of today, we can work at the same time. I'm gonna head back to the trailer. Let these guys chill out under the trailer in the shade. So if you like the Got Out channel, hit that like button. Let us know you're watching. We like to know you're watching. The dogs and I like sharing our adventures, and we're hoping that some people get inspired by what we're doing in some way. Check us out on the next video.